about the importance of a naming ceremony and why my name and identity matter.
I learned that one who is responsible for an animal must always take care of that animal regardless of the conditions. And after learning this, I intend to go through my life with the same obligation, caring for animals.
My ancestors gave up pride for success so we could understand the meaning of sacrifice.
Like Abraham standing up for Sodom and Gomorrah, I can stand up for the justice of others even when it doesn't affect me.
I hope for a world where we can all spread kindness like Rebecca.
Our ancestors stood together so I could stand for a brighter tomorrow.
Like in Parshiot, one action that I can take is to persevere in challenging times like one of our matriarchs, Rachel.
How can I challenge my actions and ideas and fight to be my true self, like Jacob did?
This week, I learned from Joseph's example that we need to treat everyone in this world with kindness and compassion.
Chase your dreams because sometimes they can come true, and the Parsha taught me that a lot of times they have very important meanings.
Like Joseph, I will lead fearlessly and do all that I can to help solve problems within my community.
I learned that it is important to celebrate our strengths, like how Jacob blesses each son based on their own capabilities.
Our ancestors, Moshe and Yitro, chased their dreams so we could rally together as one Jewish community. Shavuot Sameach, BBYO.
When Moses needed help, Aaron stepped in to help him speak publicly. I will look for ways that I can help other people the same way that Aaron helped Moses.
I learned that it's extremely important to celebrate Rosh Chodesh by following the lunar calendar. By doing this, we honor a tradition that we as Jewish people have been following since we left Egypt.
I will seek a role in my community where I can be viewed as a strong leader and encourage others to overcome their fears, just as Moses did while helping the Israelites cross the Red Sea.
Our ancestors were given the Torah, but as BBYO members, we are constantly choosing to define our Judaism and shape the future of the Jewish people.
I learned that Judaism places an emphasis on communal responsibility.
TERUMAH is about offerings, and I hope, for the future, we can all make sure that we contribute our full selves in our spaces.
How can I create change in my life and in others if I'm constantly told to honor tradition?
One wish I have for the future is to be able to see each other face to face in a world with no constraints. Doing this allows us to unite and speak the truth because over the phone we might not be as vulnerable.
I envision a world where all people defy expectations by giving more than needed, so that we can see what tzedakah is in action.
Many years ago in the desert, Jews were building a specific temple called Mishkan, and from this parasha we can get they created the specific details like candlesticks, tables, and specific clothes.
Through the Parsha Vayikra, I have learned to remember the mistakes that I have made and to learn from them.
One of the ideas of the Untitled Chapter is that there's an Zayalt inside each of us so we can find a burning fire. It's our feeling during the fulfillment of the commandment. It's our way, and we're supported by the light and fire inside others.
No matter how many years have passed and whatever happened in our lives, the fulfillment of the commandment must always have a special place in our hearts. It should be a celebration, not a routine.
Our ancestors showed us that in order to embrace pluralism, we have to defy rules and expectations.
I learned the importance of spreading kindness, not gossip.
I see a world where we learn to take care of each other and ourselves.
I learned not to blame others for my actions.
Moses taught the Israelites to love thy neighbor and treat everyone equally. I hope for a future where people are treated with kindness and love and where everyone is equal, no matter what.
I learned that when we look at ourselves as leaders and as worthy of God's divinity, we change our whole perspective on life.
Our ancestors expressed empathy and embraced diversity towards others, paving the way for me to act with compassion and kindness during disheartening and stressful times.
I want to say that I wish that our world will become a place where people feel free to appreciate tradition while interpreting their religion or beliefs in whatever way they feel most comfortable and living with their own truth.
I envision a world where all people have the opportunity to voice their opinions in order to strengthen democracy and promote equality.
Like the Nazirim, I choose to take on the responsibility of working to better the lives of every member of my community.
I learned that Moses appointed 70 judges. This inspired me to inspire others to be leaders in my chapter and region.
The main idea of the weekly chapter Shlach is, despite the importance of constant study of the Torah, It is very important to be able to apply knowledge gained in life and improve life's actions with the help of spiritual knowledge.
The main idea of weekly Parshiot is decide the importance constant study of the Torah, and it's very important to be able to apply this knowledge gained in life and improve our life actions with help of spiritual knowledge.
I envision a world where everybody supports each other and acts as one, just like Moses did in Parshiot.
I hope for the future that the world will become free of anger and hate, so that what happened with Moses hitting the rock and cursing his people shall not happen again.
I learned that leadership is not managing people, it's about elevating people as well as yourself.
Our ancestors have been through so much, and due to that, they paved the way for us. So today, we can unite, spread our voices, and stand against the hate.
I learned from Moses that we need to think about our words and our actions and to be a better person.
I learned that through embracing diversity, we recognize that each of us has unique qualities to offer to society.
What I learned is that you should not judge people by their appearance, but by their actions. And therefore I want to fight for a community without prejudice.
I learned that in the 5th book, Moses repeats the 10 commandments and changes the Shabbat commandment from Zahor to Shamor, so one should always remember and keep the Shabbat.
This whole experience has really got me appreciating my friends and my family a lot more, because I really miss my friends a lot, and you really appreciate things when they're no longer there, and I'm getting more time with my family, which makes me appreciate them more. So I guess it's kind of like there's good and bad, but honestly I just hope everything gets better.
You need to be honest with yourself.
With yourself and God.
And not make actions
because of fear, but love.
As Shoftim says, we have to appoint a leader that will rule with justice. Having that, it is possible to search for methods to unite the diverse communities.
Ser justo. We learned that being a good leader means to be fair with everyone and everything, no matter how much your decision can affect the people closest to you.
We learned that being a good leader means to be responsible and respectful, setting an example for those that follow you.
La empatía. We learned that being a good leader means having empathy for the others, means understanding what your group needs and trying to achieve that.
Comunicación. We learned that being a good leader means to be fair with everyone and everything, no matter how much your decision can affect the people closest to you.
Poner límites. We learned that a good leader must know what his limits are, and he must also know when to ask for help, even if it seems it is not really necessary.
Parshat Hazinu tells us that if you remember one thing about Judaism, we will always be connected.
So these are our thoughts.
Friendship.
Family.
Freedom.
I learned that each of the 12 tribes make up the map of Israel.
This is just the start of our journey with Torah study. We've experienced only a taste of what the Torah has to offer.
Now what? Keep learning, keep asking questions, and keep interacting with the text that binds our people together. Chag Sameach!